So in case you're not paying attention, because the calendar doesn't mean anything to most of us anymore. Today is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, a celebration of independence, of liberty. Try to take a little more of that sense of liberty into your practice with you this evening. Maybe for a few moments while we breathe and try to find some stillness in our bodies. Let the idea of independence percolate in your own mind. If you're not already in a seat, take a moment or two, half a dozen breaths at least, to work yourself up to a comfortable seat for yourself. And we should all probably check in our seats, those of us who've been in them for a few minutes now. Make sure your shoulders are where they go. Some part of you hasn't involuntarily started squeezing and working harder than it needed to. Or maybe the other way, that you haven't been collapsed, gotten a little schlumpy. Bigger inhales, bigger exhales, all the way down into the belly with the inhale. Squeeze the belly button back toward the spine to drive air out at the end of the exhale. You're going to bring your hands together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. Bow your chin and set an elevated intention for your practice this evening. Maybe something related to that whole independence thing, or maybe you got a thing you kind of go with. And then make tabletop, hands and knees pose. And we're going to start with cow and cats. How I like to start them. Inhale brings the nose up, the belly down. Exhale goes the opposite way. The nose comes under and the belly draws up and we arch. And then we couple that with our breath to move back and forth between the two. And see if you can't get the body to warm up. Slide a little further in. Anytime you're ready, you can start to add some side-to-side movements to your hips. You make circles with yours. Walk your knees back a little bit more so you can have a little more of an upward dog kind of back bend. And maybe a little more child's pose, kind of forward fold. Or experiment a little. Do something even if it's wrong. Make a few more of them, and then we'll meet in child's pose. Your knees out wider, your big toes together. Sit back and reach forward. Let the tops of your feet, the front of your hips stretch out. It's a nice low back stretcher here. Breathe deeply all the way down into your belly, and you can feel a little extra stretch in the very base of the spine, perhaps. Mostly child's pose to remind everyone to take a break when you want one, in case you've forgotten. Work your way back up to tabletop. We're heading for downward facing dog, but if it takes you a moment to get there, I'd understand. Might be your first downward dog of the day. It's definitely the first one in the class. Walk it out a little bit, or sway side to side, or maybe a little bit of cat and cow sort of thing in this. You try and root the heels, spread the weight evenly across the palms. Deep breath. And maybe a little heat builds up here in downward dog. So we're going to come forward, gaze forward, start bringing your feet up between your hands. And when they get there, you'll come halfway up, hands to your shins, inhale, look forward. Maybe a breath or so there to pull the belly in and the shoulders back. Or if yours is like mine, get your neck right. But eventually, an exhale to fold over the legs. Take a few breaths there to, well, maybe walk that out a little bit, or draw in with your hands, or work into where it feels like it needs a little working into today. Try breathing deep through your nose. That's always a good move. On an inhale, we're going to rise up to standing, unrolling slowly. We get the arms up, the gaze up, and then palms together. Make equal standing pose. I thought we'd break it up a little bit today and do sun salutation B for the warm-up instead of the usual variation of A I do. Feet together, big toes that is, and heels as close as they'll reasonably get. We start with Utkatasana. Bend your knees to drop your hips down a little bit. Thighs squeeze, arms up, look up. Shoulders down, belly in. Well, we're going to be in it for a few breaths here to warm up, so pay attention to how yours is working and see if there's some part of it that seems like it could have a little bit more of something or another. Maybe a little lower in the hips, maybe a little lower with the shoulders, or higher with the tip of your nose. How about palms a little closer together? We make another breath. And then exhale to straighten your legs and fold. Look forward, flatten your back, make an inhale. Ooh, and then our first vinyasa, hands down, feet back, plank pose. Unless you can flow right through the thing, in which case don't wait for me. Knees up or down, chin up, lower with an exhale. And then inhale, come through, upward dog, look up, long arms. Exhale, curl the toes under, hips back, downward dog. At the end of that exhale, right foot comes forward. We pivot the left foot. Oh, it's a big move. Inhale, warrior one, arms up. Couple of breaths as kind of sink into this one. I'm trying to pull the right hip back and the left one forward to point the hips a little more toward the front of the mat. At the same time, keep the left heel grounded and lunge deeply into the right knee. But you only get one inhale once you get the thing flowing. And then it's exhale, hands down, step back. We vinyasa, low push-up, upward with an inhale. Downward with an exhale, and at the end of that one, surprise, left foot forward. Inhale is our warrior one. Let's play around with it a few breaths on this side. And see what you can do with yours. Lengthen here, a little squeezing back there. Maybe some bandha work. You got one more inhale to find something. And then we'll vinyasa, hands down, step back. Lower with an exhale, upward with an inhale, downward with an exhale, and now that we're even on both sides, and rest a little. And make about 5 deep breaths in downward dog. One more time with me. Inhale brings us forward and come halfway up. Exhale, you'll fold. Bend your knees, squeeze your thighs. Inhale for Utkatasana. And then back to equal standing pose. Take a breath. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold in half, Uttanasana. Hard with your inhale, and then we start the vinyasa. Back and down. Upward with an inhale. Downward with an exhale. Big move to get into warrior one on an inhale. And vinyasa on the exhale. Upward. The downward, left foot forward. Inhale up. And we finish the vinyasa. Make about 5 breaths in downward dog and a few more times of that, or something that seems to you a lot like it. You're welcome to add in a little or linger in a posture or two if you got a little extra work in one of those. But off you go, warm it up a little.
So you'll be an Austrian nobleman, commissioning a symphony in C, which defies all earthly descriptions. You'll be commissioning a symphony in C. Money you squeezed from the peasants, to your nephew you can give it as a present. This magnificent symphony in C. You'll be commissioning a symphony in C.
You got one more in you, one more time through. And eventually downward dog will become child's pose.
Completely filling the palace concert hall. It's warm and golden like an oven that's wide open. It has a melody both happy and sad, built on victorious young triads. You've entered the room with great caution, though no one in the hall is even watching. They are transfixed, they're forgetting just to breathe. They are so taken by your symphony in C. You're sitting there thinking your thoughts, they are not about what is but what is not. You're sitting there, breathing in your breath. You are seldom breathing life, but mostly death. Still you'll be an Austrian nobleman, commissioning a symphony in C, which defies all earthly descriptions.
Well, hopefully that was enough time for you to get through. If not, you got a few more breaths. Don't rush. You can already resting in child's pose, and you're in child's pose, then rest in child's pose. Come on back up to tabletop. Make downward facing dog again. Couple of breaths at it, in case anybody's slow getting there.
Maybe I don't really want to know how you got and grow. So I just want to fly.
We're just going to work our way back to the front of the mat. We've done it before. Feet forward, gaze forward, halfway up with an inhale. You fold in deep with an exhale. I suppose we could squeeze that last week, toss it in. And then people standing pose. Let's do a little sort of Ashtanga style. You're going to pick your right foot up and step toward the back of the mat, so you're sideways on your mat. A little more than halfway back, but not the biggest stride you can make. We're going to do triangle first. A little bit of a shorter stance. T-arms. Inhale, we reach out with the upper body, and then just tip over. Right hand down, left hand up, gaze up. What about the left shoulder, the left hand kind of pulling back? And to counter that, the right hip, this bottom one here, sliding forward a little. Lengthen with the inhale. Sink in a little further with the exhale. Breathe in. Use an exhale to look down. Inhale, come up. Arms out. Switch your feet around. Right foot lined up at the back. Left foot points forward. I don't know if I said that on the other side. Anyway, you reach out with an inhale. You tip over with the exhale. Left hand down, right hand up. We're trying to keep the hips in line. Left one in front, right one behind. With a side bend and not a forward fold. Maybe you can get your spine to lengthen a little more when you inhale. Maybe you can sink a little further in the exhale. Breathe down with an exhale. Come up with an inhale. Pivot to the back again. And the stance a little bit longer this time. We're going to make extended side angle. Get out there. Well, right toes to the back, left toes or left foot kind of lined up at the front. So we're going to lunge into the right knee. Again, hips in line, not turning toward the back, but trying to stay sideways. So a little stretch along the inner thigh here. Keep your glutes engaged so your bottom doesn't stick out behind you. Knee out over ankle. You're already all the way in and you got your elbow on your knee or your hand on the floor. I suppose you could go for it. Hand inside or outside. Evan and I were talking about hand inside recently. You can really use your forearm and your elbow to kind of pry against that knee. Really rotate the chest so it's facing the long edge. You can look up at your thumb. Couple of breaths. Spread it. Sink the right hip here down toward the right heel a little more. Lunge a little deeper. This is a rare exception where knee out ahead of your ankle. Not terrible. Let's try the other side. Look down. Inhale out. Just switch the feet. Left foot to the front. Right foot lined up at the back. Bit of a long stance. Hips along the long edge. We lunge in. Elbow to knee or hand to floor, wherever you're going with that one. Oh. Guess that was enough of that. So let's see. Left hand on the mat inside the left foot. So left arm and left knee can kind of work against each other. Spin the chest a little more toward the ceiling. Right hand up, look up at yours. Hips forward and down toward the heel. A couple of strong breaths. If you know where the bind is, you just missed it. Look down with an exhale. Inhale up. Gonna point the feet at the toes at the long edge of the mat, so your heels are, or your feet are out parallel, and probably just a little wider than they were before. Hands to hips. Inhale, lift out of the waist. Exhale, fold at the waist. Palms down. Come onto your fingertips. Take an inhale, look forward, flatten your back. And then roll in. Walk the hands back and use them for traction to draw the top of the head ever closer to the top of the mat. Couple of breaths. Hands back to the front edge of the mat. We're going to do the twist thing here. Left hand to right foot or to that general vicinity, and right hand up toward the ceiling and look up at it. And fold into that bend and twist and breathe. Let's try the other side. Come down with an exhale through the middle and across. And then inhale, take the left hand up and we'll look up at that one. Twist feet, fold further in. Take some breath. Exhale, hands back into the middle. Gonna bring the hands back to the hips, I suppose. And then inhale up to standing. Let's make letter C. Hands together behind the back. Interlace your fingers. This thing, but behind you. Yeah. Press your palms together, extend. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, fold at the waist. And if your hands can come up off of your hips and rotate your shoulders, do that. I like to wiggle mine around a little bit and to work them into it. If you get a little more of that forward fold without your hands to help you. Your hands got their own thing going on. Speaking of hands, exhale, hands back down. Inhale, rise up. Might as well get letter D while we're here. Arms out, palms up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Get your big toes with your first two fingers. Inhale, look forward, flatten, lengthen. Exhale, bend your elbows. See if you can pull your head back between the legs. Keep your knees straight and breathe deep. All right, try this one. Let go of your toes. Bring your hands into the center. And then pick your hands up. Stay sort of forward folded, but come into prayer hands. We're going to turn this into tiger lunge. That's my idea, at least toward the front of the mat. So I'm going to bend my left knee. See about taking the hip down toward the left heel. I'm trying to rotate the right leg and point my toe up the ceiling. And by the way, if you can sit down in this one, take a picture and send that to me. And then we're going to switch sides by rotating onto the right foot, dropping that hip inside the heel, point the left toes up. See about sitting down into that a little further. And then we're going to get the heck out of this. Both hands to the front to surround the left foot. Step the left foot back. Vinyasa. That's a low push-up with an exhale. Upward dog with an inhale. And downward. A couple of breaths. Lower the heels and stretch the backs of your legs out. Press into the hands, lengthen the arms, stretch the shoulders out. The side body. Two more breaths. Get back to the front. Inhale, gaze forward, feet forward, halfway up. Exhale, you'll fold, and then take Utkatasana. Bend your knees. Hips down, arms up. Come back to equal standing pose. Playing around with you on that one. Let's do a little balancing. I have two balancing options. I'm turning sideways just for demonstration. You don't need to. Number one, tree pose. Sole of your foot inside the opposite leg. Arms up, gaze up. Or standing half lotus. Bend the knee. Top of the foot across to the opposite hip. Arm goes around behind. And if I really worked at it, I could get a hold of that. Anyway, if you can get a hold of your foot, you could lift and forward fold. I suppose you could forward fold even if you're holding your foot. The idea is to work your balance and maybe a little something else. How about bandhas? How about deep breaths?
Before I say that the vows we made weigh like a stone in my heart.
All right, so we're going to turn this balancing pose into another balancing pose. Temple dancer or gentleman squat. You take the left ankle and bring it just above the right ankle, just above the left knee, this kind of figure four shape with the legs. Hands together in front of the heart, and you try to sit about as low as you can manage it. There's a couple of versions. You could fold and, so your elbows or forearms come out across your knee. Or you could try and keep your spine straight, like we do in Utkatasana, and just kind of sit as low as you can manage it. Pick one to balance for a couple of breaths. Whoa. We're going to move from here to curtsy bow. You're going to rise up, take the right leg out in a big wide circle, and cross it behind the left, and then bend into your knees. Knees all the way down to the floor. How about we make this cow face pose? So the left knee ends up across the front of the right. And you try and sit back between your heels. And you may find some separation in your knees here like I did. Hands somewhere comfortable. Try to get both hip bones evenly into the mat. Sit up tall, breathe deep. Optional arm bind. Right arm up, palm faces back, bend the elbow, patch yourself between the shoulder, left arm out to the side, thumb down. Bend the elbow, bring the back of the hand onto the small of your back, and then start walking it up until the fingers find each other and you can chain them together. Maybe not. You work on yours and I'll work on mine for a couple of more breaths. If you're going for the arm thing here, the bind, mind, you don't get your neck all crunched up and your shoulders up around your ears, that's not helping. Undo your arms. Here's a fun one. Bring your hands down just there beside the knees. All right, we're going to try to go from here and press. Just unwind the legs and set your feet down between your hands. Yeah, something like that. Maybe yours is more like roll forward, pick your feet up and uncross them and then step them up between your hands. That would be. Inhale, come halfway up and exhale, fold deep. Squeeze your thighs, bend your knees. Inhale for Utkatasana. Hold on. All right, make equal standing pose. And let's have that balancer on the other side. I'm hoping you were on the right foot like I was. Well, I'm hoping you picked up, whatever. Pick a foot up, make tree, or standing half lotus. Things getting tired. You keep balancing. Did I mention standing half lotus? I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. I don't know what the heck I just did there, but that was tired anyway. Oh, we're balancing. But I imagine you're just about done with yours by the time I get here. Well, our next balancer was temple dancer. You'll bring your ankle across just above the knee and then hands together in front of your heart. Again, you'll fold forward, or maybe you try and stay vertical. Just sit down into the thing. The real thing is balancing, breathing. The rest is options. Trying to get that thigh a little more activated there. Push the floor, don't slump in. That's probably enough though. Rise up to standing. Left leg goes in a big circle back around. And then we curtsy all the way down to the floor. Cross your knees as well as they will. Sit back between your heels. Then presto, we've got cow face on this side. Again, I'm trying to stack the knees, but hip tension won't stand for that. Hands in a comfortable place. Get out of the way of foot so I can put my hip down. There we go. Both hips pressed into the mat. Sit tall. We breathe deep. And if you haven't already jumped ahead of me and you want the bind, this time it would be left arm up, palm back. Get back there. And then right arm up to the side, thumb down, hand into the small of the back. Maybe you can work it up. Get the bind on this side. Again, don't let it get your neck all crunched up. Breathe in it. So I'm thinking after that last one, we floated up. This one we should float back instead. What I mean by that is, unwind your arms. Oh, I'm going to assume you haven't turned sideways like I did, so you're facing toward the front of a mat with your knees crossed. You'll take your hands down in front of you, and you'll look up, probably rock forward, and then you're going to shoot your feet back, make a little push-up with an exhale, upward dog and downward, something like this. But do it better. Take a couple of breaths in downward dog. Lower down slowly, slowly, slowly. Knees hover just above the floor. Take a couple of breaths there. Try to keep your knees low. Pick your feet up and kind of one at a time. Walk them off one side of the mat. Keep the knees low. And then walk them real slow. Little steps around to the other side. Keep the knees low. And then finally bring them back into the middle. Put your knees down. And together, we're going to make Virasana. Knees together, feet wide. You'll sit back between your heels. Or maybe you'll bring your feet together underneath you or sit on a prop or something. Odds are you'll figure it out. Root the sit bones down, lift the chest up. Chin up, shoulders down. Strong breath. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Press your palms together. Just a little bit of pressure. A little bit of pressure in the fingers as well. Nice firm contact from hand to hand. Try to get your hands together and your shoulders down, and then with an inhale, lift your fingertips up and look up at your thumbs. And yours may be kind of out in front of you or not so straight. That'll do. Pressure in the palms, pressure in the fingers. Lift the chest. Breathe. Lift. Enough of that. Hands back down. We're going to leave the right leg bent this way and extend the left one out. So you end up something like this. Knees relatively close together, but we want the hips on the floor first. And then if the knees can get together, that'd be great. Left leg active. Toe points up, back of your knee, presses into the floor. Activate this leg too. Push the knee away, push down into that hip. Let's take the arms up. Lift up with an inhale. And exhale, come forward. Belly, chest, gaze forward. Forward with the inhale. And just move into that space a little bit when you exhale. Inhale forward. Exhale, maybe a little bit more down. A little bit further forward with the inhale. And a little bit further down with the exhale. Back up to seated. You're going to leave the right knee bent. Look at the sole of your foot on the floor. Kind of just where your knee was. Something like this. I haven't done Varichasana A in a while. Let's try this one. I just moved my right foot a little further away from my left thigh because we're going to fold inside there. Left leg active. Arms up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward. If you can get your foot or something, you will. And like we did in that last one, every inhale, forward. Exhale, maybe a little more down. Mind your right knee here isn't pointing out to the side. You want it in towards the shoulder. The foot stays planted. Maybe the bind. Ooh, mine's definitely not going to work tonight. Let's find out. Right arm around the shin. Left arm across the back. But again, forward and down is where we're going. Deep breath. And one, come on back up. Knee's going to go out to the side because we're going to make Janu-Sirsasana, sole of the foot inside the left leg. Push your knee down into the mat, your thigh, your hip, root this side. Left toes point up, legs engaged. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, fold out over your left leg. Chin up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, a little more depth. Forward. And down. Falling out of that and back up. Let's do the twist. Bring your right knee back up. Slowly put on the floor. Right hand back behind you. Inhale, take the left arm up and then cross over. Assuming yours will be back. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, look back over your shoulders. Activate this left leg out here. Back of the knee into the floor. Eyes squeezing around the thigh bone. Taller when you inhale, a little more twist when you exhale. And try to put less weight in the hand back there behind you. Maybe you can even pick yours up and bring it across, put it in your pocket. Cross your arms around to get the bind. I'll be demonstrating that one. That's enough of that. Arm back to the center we'll go. Going to take the right leg up. And then the left, heel outside the hip. Same sequence we did on the other side. So you're back to having your heel outside of your ankle and the top of your foot on the floor. Space between the knees to settle into the hips. Sit a moment. Get your bearings on this side. I think you know where we're going. Up with an inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, forward with the belly, the chest, and the gaze. And every inhale, extend. And every exhale, try and slip it a little further. Now you do yours. And now we'll come back up. Left knee stays bent, but slowly your foot goes on the floor. We made letter A, we'll come back to letter C. Arms go up. Inhale, lift. Right leg active, fold out over. Gaze forward. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, sink in. I'll try the bind on this side. You can find it. Again, what we're trying to do is stretch the right leg. The bind is showing. Back up to seated. It was John, you next. Left knee out to the side. Bring the sole of your foot along the inside edge of your left. Ground your knee, your thigh, your hip. This hip too. This leg active. Inhale, up, up, up. Exhale, belly toward thighs. Gaze forward, extend on the inhale. Hopefully you got the pattern by now. Back up. We're going to make mirror chest in the seat. Sole left foot on the floor. Left hand behind. Right elbow across. Right leg active. Inhale up. Exhale, twist it around. And then back to the center. Turn it, I hate when that happens. I had something devious in mind, and now it's left. Oh well, nothing devious for us, I guess. We're going to come back to the center, cross the legs, plant the hands, vinyasa. Feet to the back of the mat, low push up with an exhale, up with an inhale, down with an exhale. 3. Do what you can do with downward dog. Let's try Malasana. Look forward, and with an inhale, you're going to bring your feet forward outside your hands instead of the inside thing we usually do. And then you sit your bottom down this way, and you'll end up, hopefully, in something like Malasana. If yours needs a little support, or yours is way up here and you're still working on it, that'll be fine. If yours is going a long way, then forearms together and push the knees out. Sit up tall. And you'll try and have a little extra fun with it. You can come up onto your toes as well. Add a little extra balance to the thing. Some calf work while we're there. Breathing, priority number 1. As I squat down. The top. Your heels are up, put them back down. Gonna bring the hands forward. Well, take yourself back into the plank pose or downward facing dog, something like that. So either vinyasa, you'll end up in downward dog. You'll come forward out into the plank pose. Here, try this one. Pick your left hand up, put that forearm on the floor, and then pick your right hand up and put that forearm on the floor. And get yourself down into forearm plank. Hips low, but not quite touching the floor. Belly work. Push into the palms. Put your back to the heel. Deep, deep. You're going to turn this into dolphin pose. It's a little bit like downward dog. Going to walk your feet up a little bit. Gaze stays between the thumbs. Shoulders stay away from the ears. That's with the palms, the forearms. Breathe. If you can walk your toes in further and get your hips up over your shoulders, you're welcome to. This is another one I will be demonstrating. Walk it back into forearm plank and lower the hips down. About look forward. Next time you exhale, hips all the way down onto the floor. And make Sphinx pose. Relax your belly. Try and let it stretch. Take a couple of breaths. Easy. Work in. Shoulders back, chest up just a little more. You can inch your belly button forward a little bit. We're going to do the shoestring arm thing. So you're going to take your, right hand behind your left elbow and reach it out there a ways, and then your left hand across. Well, the idea is to cross the elbows, the upper arm, and lengthen your neck out. Maybe you can rest your chin on your upper arms and your forearm on the floor out there. Maybe not. And I expect you to find some sort of stretch in the shoulders, the upper arms, and that you can breathe there. Try and let the weight of you fall onto the arms. Relax them, don't push back. If you can sneak your elbows out a little bit wider, you go right ahead. Shattered windows and the sound of drums. People couldn't believe what I'd become. Revolutionaries wait for my head on a silver blade, just a puppet on a lonely string. Oh, who'd ever wanna be king? Let's try it on the other side. Take your time coming up. Unwrap the arms. Back to Sphinx pose. Left hand behind. Right arm across the front. Walk them out there a ways. Take your time. Work in. It's a different side. It's a different game. Can you relax and do it on this side? Regardless of whether you could or could not on the other. Maybe you can creep out a little further. That was when I ruled the world. Gracias, amigos. That seems about even. If you think I owe you a couple, stay and get them. If you think I owe you a couple, well, good luck. Back through Sphinx pose. And do that for a few moments. Some of you strong back benders might want to turn this into seal pose. You take your hands out a little wider, straighten your elbows to push yourself up into more of a back bend. It's another one I should not be demonstrating. A little further along than I need to go. Just breathe. We're going to work our way back to tabletop. However the heck you get there. I should have had your vinyasa there or something. Hopefully you had enough of those. Then we're going to cross our ankles, roll through, and come onto our bottoms. Stretch both legs out in front of you. And set yourself up. Hands maybe pull the sit bones and some of that flesh out of the way back there behind you. If you need your hands to support you, use them. If yours can be up on your lap, out in T, or up overhead. Lift up out of the waist, squeeze your bandhas, breathe your breaths. We're going to take a couple of breaths to come forward slowly. You'll do it at your own pace. But a few breaths. Forward with an inhale, sink in a little bit. Forward with an inhale, reach out there, sink in a little bit. Reach with the inhale, sink with the exhale. Eventually, you're going to get your toes or the outer edges of your feet, or maybe interlace your fingers below your feet. Your belly towards your thigh, gaze forward if your neck's okay with the idea. And like we've done in several others, a couple of breaths, forward with inhale. Back up to seated. We're going to bend the right knee. Bring it in towards us. Wait a minute, where am I going? Nah, that's not where I'm going. Never mind, put that like that. Now do the other, no. How about this? Two ways you can do this one too. Hands back behind you, or try and hold yourself up and do it. Or maybe arms up overhead if you're all in for that sort of thing. We're just going to pick the right heel up off of the floor a couple inches. Try and keep your knees straight. Push the heel away and work the front of the thigh a little bit. And then take it out to the side. Set it down. And then, surprise, same thing on the other side. Pick the left heel up. And hold it out there for a moment. Feel where it works. And try and maintain the rest of you. Breathe and all of that. And then take it out to the side. Set that one down. If you need to wiggle them around a little bit, you will. We're going to try and sort of sit up and forward. But again, your hands, then use them. Or they go up here. And we lift. And breathe. And if you can work your heels out a little bit wider, help yourself. Same scheme we've been using. Come forward slow with an exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, little deeply. And work your way out there. And you can grab your big toes to the outer edges of your feet, or put your hands on the floor out there in front of you. Or anything that seems to suit you. Forward on an inhale. Further in with an exhale. Come back up to seated. Keep your knees out, but put the soles of your feet together. We're going to do a couple of these. First one is Baddha Konasana. Heels together and in fairly close. So you're going to take your fingers and set them on tops of your hands so the thumbs go on the bottoms of the feet. And you're going to try and pry your feet open. Work your heels in a little closer. Anyway, pry your feet open. You're going to try and look at the bottoms of the feet. Make your knees wider. Put your shoulders down, sit up tall, and breathe a little. Keep prying the feet open, widening the knees, and breathing. Surprise, we're going to come forward on this one too. Inhale, get length. Exhale, down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, down. If you can keep the foot turned over, turned open thing, get you some of that. But you don't have to. You'd rather put the soles together. The thing you have to do is breathe. And I'd rather you did it through your nose and just a little bit slower, a little bit deep. Easy. Work out there into it. A couple more breaths. Come up slow. Soles of the feet are going to come together. We're going to keep them that way and slide the heels out. Kind of generous distance from the body. Try to be able to keep your toes together. Not that that'll be important. Just kind of go over that diamond shape between the legs. You're going to take the hands and leave them under the shins. Okay, so this is one of the go as far as yours goes kind of poses. There'll be a couple parts at the end. I'm just going to talk about help yourself to those. Come forward with your belly. And like we've done on a couple of others, we're going to start folding forward, extending on the inhales, folding forward. You might be able to wrap your arms around your shins and get your hands up on top. It might be plenty. You might take yours out wide, palms down, kind of make T out of the arm. If that's not far enough, you can take your hands, see if I can get back there next to your hips, and start trying to climb them up onto the small of your back. And if you can interlace your fingers behind your back, your next trick is to put your feet up on top of your head. But in either one of those, in any of those cases, keep coming forward with your inhales. And try to find a little more depth in the pose. And make a few more breaths. Don't go too far. But if your arms got to cross your back or something, that's further than they need to go. We're going to take them back out to T. If they never got to T, then maybe you just leave them on your feet or set them down next to your feet or some of that sort of thing. We're going to go from this posture is Supta Karmasana. We're going to go from Supta Karmasana out to Karmasana. We're going to try and widen the legs back out into that wide V on top of the arms or the shoulders if you can get your chest down that far. So this one's supposed to be hard. Congratulations. Same idea. Forward with the inhales. A little more sink in with the exhales. Couple of breaths. All right, figure your escape route from that one. Come back up to seated. Bring your legs together. Going to put the soles of the feet on the floor, so the knees point up. And roll back onto your back. And just settle in for a moment or two. I don't know about you, but I always got to find my spot. Make sure I'm not falling off the end or something. Let's see, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, little crunches. Okay. So you want a little bit of space here between the heel and the hip. It should be comfortable. We're going to bring the hands up onto the belly, either on top of one another, or you can interlace your fingers. It's not important. When you exhale, you're going to draw your belly button in and try and push the spine, this little curvy spot that kind of naturally happens. Push that down into the floor. And a couple of breaths. Just kind of let it relax when you inhale, belly will swell. And then when you exhale, push that spot back down into the floor. And get it used to the idea, rooting, connecting in. And once you got the gist of that, it's going to be exhale, push the spine down to the floor, hold it there, reach your fingertips towards your knees, and inhale, bring your nose and your shoulders up. Keep that low back spot rooted. And then you'll make somewhere between 3 and 5 breaths. And then lift, come forward. Put the core in. When you've had enough, you'll lower down with an exhale. You'll take a breath or two and work that push the belly back in thing. And then we're going to do a couple of more sets of those. Root down with the exhale. Lift up and reach with the inhale. And you lift just as high as you can. Somewhere around 3 to 5 breaths. And then you'll lower down with an exhale, rest for a breath or two. And take it one more time. unless you want to try and squeeze another one in, another 7, in which case you probably could. When you've had your fill, enough of those, we're going to do bridge pose. Same kind of thing. You're going to count the breaths and do it your way. Root your tailbone. Root your belly button. And then inhale, press the floor, lift the hip. Count 5 breaths. And lifting a little more every time you inhale. It's kind of hard to do after doing that belly work. It is for mine. It's going to take a few just to warm up to the idea. Once you get your, 3 to 5, as many of them as you're going to get. You'll lower back down with an exhale. Hips are the last thing to hit the floor. Rest for an inhale and an exhale. Move down. Inhale, lift up. You'll finish this 5 or 3 or however many you're doing, and you'll do it at least one more time through. By the way, if you want to escalate, take your back bend up to a higher level. Hopefully you know where upward bow is. Oh, no, wait, this would be bow. Anyway, Urdhva Setsu Bandhasana, Chakrasana. Let's get a back bend or two. It's exhale that lowers us down. And once you've got all of yours, you're going to pull your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around, give yourself a squeeze, a little hug, a little rocking from side to side. And then let's make that happy baby. Go down and get your big toes. Point soles of your feet up to the ceiling. Pull your knees in close. Little side to side rock in this one. Bring your knees back together. Give them another squeeze. A little more side to side. And then we're going to turn this into spinal twist. Arms out to T. Palms up. You pick a side. Take your knees to one side and your chin to the other. Take a few moments a few breaths to kind of shift around, figure out where this one's working for you. And then be still and breathe deep. Take your time, switching it over to the other side. Inhale through the center, exhale to the other side. If it takes you an extra breath in between, that one's on me. And like we did on the other side, take a moment to kind of figure out how it works on this side, what you can do with it. And then breathe deep. That seems about right. You're welcome to stay a little longer if you need to. Come back up through the center. If you want to hug the knees, roll around a little bit if you could. I'm saying your next posture is Shavasana. Put your feet on the floor. Walk your heels out to the corners. But if you want something between here and there, we didn't candlestick or shoulder stand or any of that sequence. So if you want to work that into yours, take a moment or two. Maybe 15, 20 breaths. What's the harm? In the next minute or two, hopefully you'll end up in Shavasana. Start making your way back into your breath and your body. Just kind of aware of your space. What this thing does. Adding movement to the body. Give you a minute or two. Work yourself up to a seat. Maybe there's a cleansing breath or so in there. Good morning stretch. Side to side or something. Hug the knees in. Before long, we're seated. Still breathing, but we don't need to control it now. Maybe just aware. Bring your hands together. Right there in front of your heart. Bow your chin. And end your practice this evening in gratitude. And then lift your chin, lift your heart, and let your light shine. The light in me. I see the light in you, and my light bows to yours. Namaste.